Good morning and welcome to our live training. So today we have joining us Rob Bolduc, EA. He has 31 years of tax and accounting experience. He is an enrolled agent and a certified tax coach. He's a very respected and trusted member of Brown Tax and Accounting. And today we have a live training featuring the accountable plan. We're excited to see what Rob can present to us and share with us today. And Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Carla. Welcome, everybody. Yes, as Carla mentioned, we're going to be discussing briefly today the accountable plan strategy. And before we start, I would just say that this is a strategy that you may come across out there on social media. Maybe even you've heard about it before from your current CPA or what have you. But it is an important part of one's tax strategy. I would say it should serve as a foundation or a backbone of. And I do see out there many times this is overlooked. And surprisingly, many times it's not even been implemented. So let's just walk through it today briefly. Let's talk about it and have a little fun with it. And let's see what this really is. So most of you here are physicians. So why should high income physicians like yourself still pay taxes on expenses that should be deductible? Well, you shouldn't, right? So many practice owners pay business related costs personally, sometimes from CME travel to home office expenses without any sort of reimbursement from your practice. These costs are often missed as deductions because they're paid from your personal account, not through the practice. And the result is you're paying income tax on money that you spend to run your practice, even though those costs should be deductible. So every year, this mistake is undoubtedly costing you thousands in unnecessary taxes. So the IRS does have an approved framework for handling this situation that turns your personal expenses into tax-free reimbursements. And the IRS will allow businesses to reimburse employees and business owners, such as yourself, for legitimate business expenses under what we refer to as an accountable plan. And when this plan is structured correctly, you're going to find that reimbursements are tax-free to you and tax-deductible to your business. That is a win-win. And this is not a loophole. This is actually official tax code, and we find this in IRS Regulation 1.62-2. So for physicians, this will create an immediate, low-risk way to keep more of what you earn without changing your income or your workload. So why does paying personally for business expenses create a hidden tax penalty? Well, when you pay for business expenses personally, you are using your after-tax dollars, meaning this is money you've already paid 35, possibly as much as 40% in taxes on already. Without that reimbursement, you are effectively giving up that 35 to 40 cents on every dollar that you spent. Over time, these unnecessary taxes will compound, reducing how much of your income you actually get to keep. So the solution is have your practice, not you personally, but your practice, pay for those expenses legally and strategically. So why does paying practice expenses personally cost you $10,000 or more a year in taxes? Well, suppose you pay $25,000 per year in mixed-use business expenses. Maybe that's your home office, could be phone, travel, maybe supplies. Without this accountable plan, you lose roughly $8,000 to $10,000 per year in taxes that would otherwise be avoidable. So reimbursing through your practice will allow those same expenses to be treated as business reimbursements, excluded from your taxable income. So take that and extrapolate that over a 10-year period. That's $100,000 plus in additional retained wealth with zero change in spending behavior. So those are real dollars, and $100,000 you could use, well, in a number of different places, right? So we love accountable plans here. So Accountable Plan 101, this is a simple IRS approved system for tax-free reimbursements. An accountable plan, what is it? It's a written reimbursement policy between you, the owner employee, and your business. It will allow the business to reimburse personal funds used for business expenses. Reimbursements are not taxable to you and fully deductible to the business. This plan must meet three basic criteria. We're going to have a business connection. It's going to have substantiation of the expense, and there's going to be any return of any excess funds. That's it. Pretty straightforward. So how does it work in a step-by-step fashion? How do you set this up and operate an accountable plan the right way? Well, step one is, again, we'll create a formal written plan that defines the reimbursable expenses. Step two is to track and document the expenses with receipts, with mileage logs, with home office calculations. Step three is going to be submitting those expense reports to your business at least quarterly. Step 4, the business will then reimburse you, this is the best part, tax-free, from its bank account. And then step 5, maintain documentation for the IRS compliance purposes. I mean, that is how simple it is to set one of these beautiful reimbursement plans up. We'll give you one little case study here. How did one physician save $12,000 a year by reimbursing practice expenses tax-free? Well, this particular client was a 35-year-old dermatologist operating as an S corporation with $600,000 or so in net income. Previously was paying for their travel, the home office, and some other mixed-use expenses personally. They implemented an accountable plan, reimbursement approximately $30,000 per year in these qualified costs. And the result was this particular client saved more than $12,000 annually in taxes, and they didn't spend $1 more. This was money they were already spending, just money that they weren't capturing a tax deduction for. So this is where the accountable plan came in and saved them that $12,000 annually. What's the 5-year outcome? Well, take that $60,000 shifted from taxes and into personal wealth. So over the 5-year period, the physician redirected $60,000 that would have gone to the IRS into some personal savings and investments. These funds were redirected to pay down student loans, contribute to tax advantage retirement accounts. The plan also made the practice audit ready by keeping all documentation clear and organized. And here is a really important lesson that we're emphasizing here. The biggest tax wins often come from formalizing what you're already doing, not from risky loopholes. Let me repeat that because that's so important. The biggest tax wins often come from just formalizing what you're already doing. It's not from some risky loophole you heard at the water cooler amongst all the talk in the office. These things are just wonderful when you do it the right way and formalize it. So how to keep your accountable plan fully IRS compliant and audit ready? Because that's the question, right? How do you do this? Well, maintain a written plan outlining the eligible expense categories and reimbursement procedures. And keep a detailed record for all reimbursed expenses, receipts, the mileage logs, any expense reports. Submit and reimburse these expenses within a reasonable time frame. We recommend generally within 60 days. Return any payments that you receive that actually exceed the business expenses to the practice. And here's the bottom line. When properly structured and documented, you can sleep well at night because accountable plans are fully compliant with IRS Reg 1.62-2. Oh, let's see. So beyond the basics, how do medical practices maximize accountable plan benefits? You can't include just every expense you can possibly dream up in these. They got to be IRS approved and compliant. But let's include home office and telemedicine setup costs that are used exclusively for patient care or administrative work. Reimburse for CME travel and conferences that directly relate to patient care or continuing education. Reimburse professional licensing fees, medical journals, uniforms. How about the business use portion of your phone and the internet? And reimbursements for a spouse, only if they're a bona fide employee with documented business duties and responsibilities. So accountable plan is, as we mentioned at the very outset of this presentation, is the foundation of a tax-efficient practice. It works synergistically with compensation planning, retirement contributions, and other tax-efficient income strategies. It will reduce adjusted gross income. It'll improve eligibility for other deductions and credits. It'll create a defensible paper trail, strengthening your tax position across all of your filings. And it is, as we've mentioned, one of the first foundational moves before layering in more advanced tax strategies. Think of it as maybe a cornerstone, if you will, of that foundation. So recapping here, you don't need to earn more, although that's always good too, but you need to keep more of what you earn. Most physicians overpay taxes, not from lack of effort, but really from the lack of proper structure. This accountable plan we've talked about today is a straightforward IRS approved way to turn your business expenses you're already paying into tax-free reimbursements. Every dollar reimbursed tax-free compounds your long-term wealth. And it's not aggressive. This is just simply smart, compliant tax planning. So discover how much you can reimburse tax-free starting this year. Find out which expenses in your practice qualify for reimbursement under an accountable plan, and learn how much you could save annually in taxes by implementing this structure. I would encourage you to book your complimentary tax strategy analysis session to quantify your savings potential, and you can do so at www.browntax.com. Carla, that ends my portion of the presentation, and I'm going to turn things back over to your very capable hands.
Well, thank you, Rob. That was a great presentation. This is a very powerful tax planning strategy that is oftentimes overlooked by high income physicians and medical professionals. So it's something that we're really excited to be able to help our clients with. If you want more information about the accountable plan and how to set one up, you can book a call with us. We'd be happy to discuss this strategy with you. So thank you, Rob, and everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time, okay?